And welcome to today's Light Lunch episode. My name is Hayden Blucher and I'm the engagement lead here at the Building Institute Aotearoa. And it's a pleasure today to be joined by Ben Bourke and Dan Bradley from our Central Region Committee. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
I'll just get you to quickly introduce yourselves first. So Ben, do we want to start with you?
Yeah, sure. I'm Ben, a group design manager for Summerset. So I help manage the design team, mixture of architects, technicians, design managers, and they kind of look after, I suppose, the design and the construction side of the business. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And how long have you been with Summerset?
Nearly 7 years in March. So I came over from the UK to work for Summerset. So yeah, it's been a good journey, a mixture of kind of consultancy and main contractor background. So Summerset's quite good. It kind of does both of those. So yes, never a dull day.
Yeah, awesome. And what about yourself, Dan?
Yeah, so I'm the managing director of BPM, who are a project management and cost consultancy company. We've got 4 offices across the country: Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch and Motueka, and we work across the board in the construction space. A little bit of contractor side stuff, but most of the client side, engineer to contract, infrastructure, residential, commercial, high rise, everything basically. I also wear another hat of a company called Context Solutions, who are essentially a digital enabler for the construction industry and contractors.
Awesome, cool. All right, well, thank you for the introductions. The format to today is we'll run through a few different questions here, but yeah, keen for a good chat with you both. So the first question is, a little bit about us as an institute. So firstly, what enticed you to be a member of the Building Institute? And more recently, why did you join the regional committee?
I'll take that one first. Yeah, sure. I suppose with the NZALB being first and now it's the Building Institute, for me, it's one of those really good areas where you can have many different professions within the industry. So it's not like others where you're all architects or you're all, quantity surveyors or that sort of stuff. So it allows you to learn, in my eyes, a lot more than you would just staying in your niche. So yeah, that's a real kind of bonus for me. And then the committee side of things, I've been around a little bit now, not as much as others, but more than some. And it's kind of then just being able to give back in a way, but more kind of influence, just to see kind of what's going on out there in the market, in the region. And it's obviously a great networking tool as well.
Awesome. Good answer. Yeah. And then
I guess similar to Ben, really, to some degree. It's from a network perspective, it's the Institute's one of those places where you do get to have a touch point with all the different people within the industry, and construction being such a transactional type I guess industry where you might work with somebody on one project for a couple of years, and then you might not work with them again for a few years and see them around at events and awards and things like that. So it's a good place to be able to keep in touch and extend that network and those relationships. I've also got I guess personally, an underpinning value or goal of health and well-being, and being as part of the committee members. I guess it gives me an ability to try and I guess enhance that and use that, and the vision of trying to help the industry, which has notoriously had very bad health and wellness. Try and improve that on a greater scale by being involved with the industry.
Nice.
With the Institute.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like how you both answered, that point about connecting with lots of different people across different roles. And I guess that's, one of the benefits that we talk to a lot of people about is, come to event of ours, and you're right, it will be people in all different roles, but those are the kind of people, across projects that you'll be collaborating with a lot, and, the skills that and the relationships you can build there will hopefully be useful to you in your day-to-day jobs as well. Now, moving on to something, specific about your own work, what's something that you're currently excited about, whether that's a project that you're currently working on or, a launch or, anything really. Starting with you again, Ben.
we're at the stage now where there's quite a few projects in the commercial build sense that are finishing. So we have a main building in Cambridge that is due to hand over at the end of this month, and we've got then an apartment scheme in Auckland that's doing the same. So it's a busy time, but you're at the stage where you've been slogging on these jobs for 2 years maybe, and all the challenges from day one in terms of the build. So it's a real team effort now to kind of get that handover done to then pass to our another business unit ops who will then take it and run with it for the rest of that building's life cycle. But so there's that excitement there. But then likewise, we've got a new project in Belmont in Auckland, which is just kind of in the early concept stage for a master plan. So then you get the excitement there where everything's new, everything can be kind of tweaked and refined. So I suppose at the moment, my excitement is new things starting and then actually finishing stuff that you've been on for quite a while. And it's good just to see the product at the end of it.
Learnings too, I suppose, Ben, right? Taking the learnings from the last one you did into
That's
the new
it.
one.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah, nice. And Dan?
So for me, from a project sense, we're looking after the new driving range and club lounge over at Miramar. So if you've been through or to Wellington Airport recently, you probably start seeing these structures coming out of the ground. So it's really starting to take shape at the moment, and the driving range is starting to really look like a driving range. So it's CBD's first driving range. So everybody has to drive out to the hut at the moment if they want to smash a few balls. But that's a really exciting project that we're working on at the moment. That I say it's at that phase of where it's coming out of the ground and it's starting to evolve into the structure and the outline of the building. On a context space, the last 12 months we've really seen a real adoption of some digital tools and watching and seeing some of the contractors that we're working with adopt some of these digital tools and actually get some time back. Time being that that one thing that everybody wants more of. So from the health and wellbeing space that I kind of live around, giving people time to enjoy stuff outside of work it's a real cool feeling and it's a real happy feeling to get that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I'm surprised, going back to your point about the first driving range in the CBD. When you actually think about it, you're right. There is no driving range in the CBD, which is surprising.
Yeah. And now you've got to drive north if you want one.
Yeah. Oh, and when's that project? When's that due to be completed?
In October next year.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's an exciting development, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Perfect. And then the next question is kind of touching on what you've talked about a bit, Dan. What do you do to keep balance or to balance your mental health and well-being with your busy schedules? Anything interesting or anything you might be doing?
You want me to jump in first this time, Ben?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I guess so. Balance is a funny one, right? Because I've always my mind is that you never really have balance. It's just about how you can tip the different scales to make sure that you're always counterbalancing, if you like, rather than having balance, because balance is zero essentially on a scale. And I'm I guess I come from a thing around mental toughness and understanding that that's a skill. It's a perishable skill. So if you're not always working on it, then doing things to keep yourself, I guess, uncomfortable, you never. That's how you actually help with mental health and keep balance. So myself and the team, I'm always putting us through challenges and doing things that because by doing hard things you can do hard things. So. Always putting us through challenges, and even this weekend, actually, the most junior member of our team and myself have teamed up, and we're going into a fitness competition up in Upper Hutt, where we're going to test ourselves a little bit and put ourselves through the paces, try and lead by example with a young 21-year-old, and see how I can keep up. Yeah, that's what I do. It's just a big focus on, I guess, three areas of my life, which is health, wealth, and relationships. So making sure I'm always, if I'm doing one, I'm all in, always doing it. So if I'm working, I'm working. If I'm with my family and with my friends, I'm with my family and with my friends. And if I'm at the gym, I'm at the gym. I'm not on the emails, doing anything, trying to do two, because if you're doing two things half-assed, you're not doing one at all.
Yeah, nice, really cool. And Ben?
I've got two young girls, so they kind of, take a lot of my time. There's a, 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, so it's good to kind of they make me laugh and ground me quite a lot because they're just so different, but also you can see them kind of growing and adapting to different things. But I feel like I'm in a very good position where I still massively enjoy what I do, to the point where I'll take work home with me, because we're in the industry where you can't shut off on the day, because, in theory, projects will last in some capacity forever, and you've always got a forward think, you've always got a forward plan. And my mind, because we've always been in this industry, I can't compute how I can just, let's say, a fireman or someone, you just go home and you're done for the day until your next shift starts, or something along those lines, and I just can't understand that. So yeah, my balance, I suppose, is slightly different to Dan's, where I don't mind doing things all the time, even if I'm on my phone. I don't do it. There's a time and a place still, absolutely, but I like to be involved constantly, and especially even on a Saturday and stuff. The guys are on site until, midday, early afternoon, because that's just the construction life. So it's not to say I'll be, smashing reports out at that point, but I just like to be involved. And there's probably a bit of mind in the back of my mind that a little and often means things don't pile up as much, but the grand scheme of things is I still enjoy it, and that's kind of in a strange way, that's my release, I suppose, because I just like doing it. I think if the day came where I don't like it as much, then it's either you need something outside of work to kind of, like you said, tip the scales and balance the books, or then it's, more severe things of finding different roles or whatever. But yeah, I enjoy what I do at the moment, so I don't mind that it feels like, to an outsider, it would feel like it's all the time, but to me, it's just life, I suppose, and enjoyment of it.
I guess that's the beauty of, your own mental health and well-being as well. It is really different for everyone, and what makes one person happy, or one person's way of managing it, can be very different to someone else. But you've got to find, I guess, what works for you, and how you can make
Yeah.
sure you get that balance, which is, so thank you for that. And then, final question is more about people, within your careers that have been a big influence on you. So, is there any particular person or people that you want to give a shout out to today who have been influential in your career today?
Yeah, I can go first. I'm lucky in a way that I've never had a bad boss, and every boss has been different from when I was at consultancy and then main contractor, and obviously in New Zealand. So, and they've all been completely different. So it's been really good to learn from them and get their approach on life. So, my current boss is great, Christina, who's on the board of the Building Institute, but also, Kevin, my previous boss in the UK, I learned more from him in the first 2 weeks than I did, for 5 years at uni, kind of thing, because he has that real world experience of this is why we do things. And that was main contractor side, and that wasn't my first main contractor role. I've been in the industry for 5 or 6 years before that, but it was just another person who's done it on whatever jobs. The big jobs don't necessarily mean they're the most difficult. The small ones equally have no contingency to spend or hide behind like the big ones do. So it's really kind of, you see that little facet of the nuances of how to kind of go about things. So yeah, that I'd say certainly in my work career, yeah, every boss has given me that little bit of extra bit. And I try and hopefully kind of push that downstream from my learnings from then go to my staff as well. So yeah, it's I'd say my boss is current and past.
Nice. And yourself, Dan?
Yeah, Ben stole my answer to some degree, but it's amazing, isn't it? The view you take of history at the time. That'd be a little bit different, but when you look back in hindsight, the different bosses that you've had had essentially played a very a big part of your development, and also potentially your leadership style. But I guess from side of my boss, although he was my boss back in the day at BP. He's now my business partner. Frank Van Hatten, who's director of BPM. He was the person that he was the person that planted the seed of BPM and actually going out and setting up my own company, which was a thought that I'd never had up until the moment that he said it. And I was in a career transition at the time, and I was looking at different job opportunities, interviewing for different job opportunities, and then after he suggested it, and I gave that confident vote of confidence that it's something I could do. My mindset shifted to, well, what would I call the company if I started my own company? What it would be like? What would be the values? And my mindset went to the scary place of, I don't know how to run a company, but I'll give it a go. If this person's, he just retired, and asked him if he was willing to back it and come in with me, because he was the person who I knew who had the most governance experience, and he said yes. So here I am, nearly 9.5 years later. So it was a massive turning point in my career, in my life, and very influential.
Nice. Yeah, just that vote of confidence you needed, really.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions that we have for today. So thank you very much to both of you for being a part of it. For anyone listening, thank you for joining into another Light Lunch episode. We hope to see you all at an event somewhere soon, and thank you again for speaking today. See you later.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.